What's going on, Noles Nation? CJ Wilson here with DoakTalk. Of course, I'm your host. FSU is in the midst of a bye week after a 2-0 start, a blistering hot 2-0 start. Win against Alabama, a dominating win against East Texas A&M. FSU is currently in the top 10. Like my guy Brian McFadden said in regards to, he spoke to the FSU team in regards to poison and things like that, like perfume. You can smell the perfume, but if you drink it, it can kill you. So I do want the current team to, and I know Mike Norvella's done a hell of a job echoing this as well too. Stay in the course. Don't get complacent. Understand the job is just starting, it's not finished, just that and third. And you kind of, if you heard Mike Norvell talk prior to the East Texas A&M game, he was telling those guys to finish and dominate throughout. So we're currently in the top 10 where we rightfully belong. A lot of things we can improve on and things like that. So within this video, I just want to talk about some things that I feel like FSU within the first two games that we can do better at or we can improve on, and some things I want us to continue to some things that we are doing good. I want us to continue to do those things and take it to another level and build upon the things that we are doing good. But before we get started, man, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, subscribe to the Dope Talk community. October 4th, we have a big Miami game, and it's looking like it could be a top 10 matchup for the rivalry. Something we always see and something we're used to, right? So make sure you guys grab the tailgate ticket for this one. It's going to be a star-studded event as usual. Me and former FSU fullback are teaming up. You guys can grab your ticket. The link is in the description. If you missed the Alabama tailgate, this is not the one you want to miss. We're going to hang out and have a really good time. All you can eat, all you can drink, live DJ, that type of deal. And if you don't have a ticket to the game, you should have TVs out streaming the game as well, just like we have versus Alabama. So go ahead and grab your tailgate ticket. All right, guys, some things I feel like we need to improve on and absolutely get better at if FSU wants to get to where they want to be at the end of the season, the end of the season goal. A few things. Punt return. We have to fix the punt return issue. Jalen Lucas has been very inconsistent in the first two games in regards to fielding punts and things like that. We did have the turnover. He did rather have the turnover against Alabama to where he called Peter and the punt ended up hitting him. But if you look closer at that play and review that play again, it actually hit the Alabama player first. But that's neither here or there. Regardless, we still turned the ball over, and that wasn't the only issue. Of course, we had it in East Texas A&M, but just deciding when to field the ball, letting the ball bounce, and things like that. Something that's kind of plagued FSU fans for a while. We're being quite honest. I think Squirrel White was a good option there, and he was going to stabilize that position. But unfortunately, he did get hurt in the East Texas A&M game with a wrist injury. The prognosis on that doesn't seem to be long term, but in the short term, we still need to fix the issue. So want to get, and I know Jalen Lucas did miss last year, the majority of last year with an injury and kind of getting back in the swing of things. But we may need to find some other competition to kind of help push him in the absence of Squirrel White until we get Squirrel back to probably be the main punt returner. And that person could be possibly LaWayne McCoy. He's a guy that he returned a few punt for FSU last year as well. I wasn't a fan of him on punt return either, but maybe he was a true freshman. So going into his sophomore year, maybe he's a little bit more comfortable being in that type of position. So we do need to get someone back there. BJ Gibson too. BJ Gibson, I think it was when FSU played last year, BJ Gibson against Charleston Southern, he looked pretty good as a punt returner. He looked kind of natural back there. So he's a guy I would like to probably see in the mix a little bit too, just to push a little bit and see what options we do have back there, because that position is such a vital position, man. Like as you guys saw against Alabama, if we feel that punt, we may go down the score and possibly put Alabama away. That type of sudden change can be detrimental to a football team, especially when you have a defense that just got off the field and forced the punt, and then you're back out there again due to a turnover. That type of stuff can be demoralizing. So we definitely want to get better at the punt return position. All right. Even though we get Pittman back, who was a stellar blocker on the edge, as you guys saw against Alabama, he was a wrecking ball out there, just a physical presence in regards to blocking and things like that. He was out in this East Texas A&M game, and there was a little bit of issue on the inline blocking. So I do want to see Landon Thomas and Amari Williams get a little bit more physical and get better at that, because we're going to need them at a certain point in the season, of course, to be that blocker on the tight end position. And the better the competition get, of course, East Texas A&M is the easiest team that we're going to see all year on the schedule. The bigger that the competition get, it's going to be more. It's going to stand out more. If you didn't really watch that position, you didn't really pay too much attention to it during the game. But the bigger the game, the bigger the competition, the better the competition, it'll stand out more. So we definitely have to get better at the tight end position blocking. I know we still have Marquise Douglas, our biscuit. He's on the roster, and he's a big body. He was in 2022 prior to transferring. He was used in that type of role. Maybe we could get him back into the swing of things as well, as far as blocking and that type of deal. All right, so I mentioned earlier that Squirrel White did injure his wrist, right? So we're down a receiver. Now we need another receiver to step up. So this is a pivotal point for another guy to kind of come in and show that they're dependable and something that we can use in regards to being a reliable option for FSU in the future. It, excuse me, these next two games would be good to try to figure out who we could put in that position with Kent State, and of course our first ACC game on the road against Virginia. Lawayne McCoy, he's coming back healthy, he's going to be coming back healthy, so that's going to be a good option at the receiver position. Prior to getting injured in fall camp, he was doing pretty good and making some waves. And Elijah Moore, both of these guys are within the second year of the program, four-star recruits. Elijah Moore is a kid I'm very high on. I think he could be very good. Want to see him get some reps as well and get more opportunities with Squirrel being out and capitalize on those opportunities and just get more experience, more reps and things like that up under their belt. So when you get deeper into the season and bigger games, you can have a 4 to 5 deep receiver room and be comfortable with 4 to 5 options once Squirrel White comes back. All right, some stuff that FSU has been doing very well that I want FSU to continue to build on and continue to see. The Makai Danzy counter reverse. Like that shit is so damn dangerous, man. There's so many options, there's so many things you could do with that. And Gus is kind of showing that you could pretty much give it to the running back on the counter. Thomas Castellano can actually pull it from the running back, fake it to Makai Danzy and run it himself. We can have a deep shot off of it. And we saw what the play action could do with Deuce Robinson against East Texas A&M. That one play drive for 80 plus yards, it was a play action type of play. So you put Makai has had 3 big runs off of that reverse, and everybody knows he's one of the fastest players in the country. Once you put that on film, you have to respect it, right? You have to respect it. So Makai is going to get so much attention on those end-around reverses moving forward. It's going to open up so many other options for FSU within that play. I'm telling you, man, you could play action pass. You could have a quarterback run design with Thomas Castellano. He keeps it. You could give it to the running back on the counter. There's so many different variations you could do. But Makai Danzy being successful in the first 2 games is going to spring other things or other elements of that play. It's going to spring other elements that we can use in the future. Continue to build on defensive line depth. I know when people saw the depth chart and shit like that coming into the season and things like that coming into the season, there was a lot of concerns about the depth chart in regards to the D-line depth, right? Those guys have played amazing the first 2 games. Alabama game. My only issue with the Alabama game is, and I want to give Ty Simpson his credit. We had a lot of pressure on Ty Simpson. We just wasn't able to get him down to the ground as often. So we want to capitalize on sacks, but continue to build depth within the defensive line. And when I say continue to build depth, we get 4-star nose tackle Kevin Winback, who by all accounts was competing for a 2 deep spot within the depth chart. And the Desir twins, those guys are bona fide stars. Those 2 twins are big-time players. They're going to be in future NFL draft picks, true freshmen. I just want to see those guys continue to get reps, continue to get better and better. The more live reps for those young guys, the better they will be. You add in a Kevin Wynn to the mix, who's just as good, in my opinion. Could be even better because he was a highly recruited kid and the staff spoke highly about him. Get him in the fold, get him some live reps against Kent State and Virginia moving forward. I think the rest of the season we should be okay within the D-line if we get more reps for those young guys and they get more experience. D-Jack has been a man amongst boys in the middle, anchoring the nose guard position. We get other guys around him to kind of cultivate that. We should be perfectly fine. I also want us to continue to get familiar with the system, right? The offense and defensive system. We have a new offensive coordinator, new defensive coordinator. Everything is brand new as far as play concepts, play designs, play mentality, whatever it may be. Everything's brand new. We go from a 4-3 base in the past, or a 4-2 base in the past, to a 3-3 type of base with Tony White more aggressive and more window dressing, pre-snap and things like that. Then Gus Malzahn, he just throws the kitchen sink at you, right? So you want to continue to build. And Gus also mentioned this too, because the offensive line, the entirety of the offensive line wasn't healthy during the spring, so we couldn't get a full picture of what we looked like. Gus mentioned prior to the Alabama game, we were fully healthy for the first time, and we're only able to practice for like 2 weeks as a fully healthy unit on offense. So again, only 2 weeks and we saw the output. So I say that to say this: continue to get reps, continue to learn and study the playbook, do the plays over and over, get familiar with the playbook, learn the ins and outs of it. And the more familiar we get within it on both sides of the ball, the more comfortable the players get, the more dynamic the offense and defensive calls can be due to familiarity within the personnel. So again, in layman's terms, the more you know as a player, the more the coaches can give you or throw at you or throw at an opposing team due to you being familiar with the system. So with first year coordinators, you want to continue to build on that. I like where we're at with FSU in that point. Just continue to get reps, continue to get better as the season goes on and on. We will we'll get familiar with the offensive defensive system together, and it'll be a lot more cohesion, and it can be a more deadly unit combined moving forward. That's all I got. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It's going to be interesting to see how FSU looks after the bye week. Go Noles.